Apologize for that, everyone. My computer just crapped out on me. I don't know why. So we saw that MHT got out General Calrissian and Admiral Radis to Jakku, and on his first turn, and Tom activates. He's got 22 force to work with already. So let's see what he's going to do on his turn. And he's going to pull out Battle Order. So looks like he is going to take that the drain of 2 next turn. So let's see what he's going to do this turn. And it looks like he's just going to draw some cards. So Tom is going to take his good old time with the setup here. Okay, Tom is sitting at number 1. Number 2 is Joe Olson, followed by Matt Harrison Trainer, Brett Bailey, David Woods, Chris Hall, and then Mike Pistone, and Ben Headland at the running out our top 8. So again, Tom is currently uh, undefeated. He is 5-0. Joe is 4-1, I believe, with his only loss to Tom. MHT is also 4-1. I don't know who he lost to. David Woods, and Chris Hall are also 4-1 as well. So let's see. Okay, so he lost to Tom. Thank you. Okay, he did drain. Tom lost a Lord Ball with lightsaber from his deck, as well as something special for them. Matt got out his Ray encampment, as well as a combined feat action and a Krillin Corvette. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened there, Justin. Okay, so MHC again got the Krillin Corvette down on his second turn. He's got 11 force to work with, so let's see if he's going to put down some characters and try and flip this turn, or if he's just going to wait until Tom does what he should. If he's going to take a time and see what Tom does. Tom has a 20 card hand at this point, and that's nothing to sneeze at, especially when he's activating 19. Again, I want to say this is for pretty much everything at this point. So Tom is our only undefeated, and MHT again, like I said, is 4-1. Joe is also 4-1. So a lot riding on these last round matches. Um, if you are interested in watching some of the other matches, again, I believe. Let's see, Kendall or not Kendall. Jared has said that he is streaming on Jared is streaming He's streaming the David Woods versus Joe game, and James is Chris Hall versus Brett Bailey. Okay, Forlong coming down as there we go, and the Dagobah Cave. He's also got core lag, so Tom has pretty much everything he wants in his hand. The only problem was he did lose Lord Maul, one of his Lord Maul with lightsabers, so I don't know if that's going to come back and bite him. He also lost a something special plan for them. And there's Monarch. MHT had 15 cards in his hand, so MHT is going to have to put 7 of those cards back. And Dorsch just said, Nate just said that in the chat. MHT needs to be careful. Tom regularly draws the 20 cards in hand, but he runs Monarch. So the Monarch is going to be grabbed by the grabber. And Tom is putting cards from MHT's hand back into his deck. Yes, again, this was after he puts out Boba Fett in Slave 1 to Korlag. And he does have Forlom with Concussion Rifle V on the table as well. There's a no escape. So he's going to get himself a second grabber. That's going to be 3 grabbers that he's going to be able to play with on whenever he wants. It's a pretty good start right there. And Old Allies is one of those decks that plays a lot of cards that you want to grab. Whether that is the I Think I Can Handle Myself or Rebel Leadership, All Wings Combo. There's a lot of cards you might want to grab. I don't know if MHC is running, what's it called? It could be worse, but again, that's another possible grab. Okay, Dooku coming down, as well as the Emperor to Jakku. So MHT, again, is on the 0 side of his objective with the Falcon up at space. So he could drain for 2 if he wants. Let's see what he would decide on to do. He himself is also going to have a lot of force to work with, as he just activated 19. So a lot of battlegrounds on the table for both players. What, only 3 non-battlegrounds? That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, MHT is going to look through his deck, and Tom does get a free verify. You can have some beatdown potential with Old Allies. Chewie, Solo, all those fun people. We saw last game, I believe it was... who did we stream last one? Chris Hall versus Bill. Chris was able to get a few beatdowns in just because he had Poe Dameron and Dash in Rogue 12. Being able to draw 2 Destiny is pretty good. And then if you throw like Wedge, Red Squadron Leader down as well, you can cancel the game text. Or you can cancel any Destinies. But yeah, that's a good point. Both those characters can play Force Lightning, and you really don't want to run up to that when your opponent can draw a 9. Okay, so MHT is taking his time here. He is thinking about what he wants to do. He knows that Tom has one of his Lord Mauls with lightsaber in the lost pile, so that's one card he doesn't have to worry about. Okay, our number 4 table is the Kyle Kruger versus Michael Morrison. Yeah, I would feel very safe. Okay, so Leia coming down, going to cancel that combined fleet action. Looks like Matt is going to attempt to flip here this turn. Yep, there's Ro. Rose coming down. So again, Kyle Kruger is playing Rups versus Schmicky's WAP. Schmicky is on the 7 side of his objective, whereas Kyle is currently on the 0 side with Admiral Piet and Commander Tasane sitting at the executive docking bay. Admiral Oswald and the Emperor are currently piloting the Emperor's personal shuttle. So, not a huge turn of events there. So, I mean, we've got, Queen Amidala, Panaka, Rex, and Horace Vance at the throne room. So, let's actually pull that game up really quick. While MHT is currently still in his deploy phase, Ray goes down to her encampment. That will allow MHT to pull a card out of his deck that he wants. So as you can see, we got a Rops versus WAP matchup. Naboo is already in the graveyard, or in the lost pile for Michael. Mithron Venuto is in the graveyard, or the lost pile for Kyle. So Kyle, I assume, he's going to want to find his Imperial Decree at some point, and possibly his Sand Effect as well. Outside of that, he wants to flip so he can reduce some of the damage that is being done on the ground. So that would negate the drain over at the Thief Palace. So, but we'll see what he does this turn. Yep, Vader coming down in front of General Kenobi. So we could see something happen here this turn. Again, Rey comes out to her hut. Schmicky plays the Rebel Barrier so Vader cannot move or battle this turn. But he's got a Sense. And Kyle plays Sense even though he has his own. There is no Tri-Shield on the table, so he's going to take 2 points of damage there. He does draw Grand Moff Tarkin, so he does cancel the Sense. So Vader does hit the table. And he'll lose Grand Moff Tarkin in Blizzard 4. The Rebel Barrier goes to the Lost Pile, as well as the Sense. So, again, MHT is still in his deploy phase, thinking about what he wants to do here. He is taking his time. And there's a Stormtrooper garrison coming down in front with Vader. Let me see. And Isard coming down as well. While with an opponent leader as one battle destiny, Imperial leaders cannot be targeted. Unfortunately, Vader is not a leader, so you can still target Vader with the saber, and I still think you would go. Well, no, it's Obi-Wan's saber, so I don't know. I'd rather get the garrison off the table. Wedge and Hish in the Rogue One comes down, but there's a barrier from Tom. Yeah, he got the Sense through. So let's go back to our feature table right now. Actually, no, let's go back to the game that we were just looking at, as we do have a fight. Vader, Garrison, and Isard come against Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kyle plays First Strike, and he does retrieve the Sense. Schmicky has to lose one. On our feature match, Corran Horn joins the Rogue One ship. So he is now able to cancel the Destiny whenever Tom decides to draw Destiny. So even if you draw a 9 and your opponent can cancel it, I think canceling it is so much better. Okay, Kyle will play Close Call to take the to cancel that draw of the Intimidator and Persecutor. So we'll keep an eye on that game really quick, as we have some interesting stuff going on with the feature match. Dooku is attempting to fry General Leia, and Dooku will succeed at that. Draws a 9, so now the combined fleet action is come back into play. However, Leia is off the table. And Rose is staring down two dark Jedi by herself. Nope, Rose will run away. And I doubt Rey is going to come out of her hut at this point as well. Matt is currently on the 7 side of his objective, so should be good there. Yep. You did. You called it really well. Okay, let's do a giveaway really quick as MHT is currently drawing some cards in his draw phase. So the first 2 people who can name me 3 out of the, 5 people who have won multiple world championships will win a GEMP AI pack and a to be determined foil card, foil AI card. So Chew decide. Okay, dead body. Yep, you win. You right off the bat. You get your choice. Do you want? So the next person, you gotta give me some different ones, at least 2 different ones here, for the second person. So dead body, go ahead and tell me. Do you want the pack or do you want the to be determined foil? There are 6. Hunter is never. He's only won 1. Okay, you're gonna get the. Okay, so yeah, not Hunter, but you're right. There is 6. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot somebody. But Chu, Desai, and Emil all are correct. So you get the pack. Joe and Bastion, and yeah, you need one more. You need one more. Uh, uh, Justin Desai stole it from you. So Justin, you get the Gemp AI packs. Okay. Okay, back onto our game over here. Uh, Tom attempts to drain for 2 at the outpost, and however, Matt plays It's a Hit. It is grabbed by drop, so. And then he drains for 2 at the Starship Graveyard with Matt losing BB-8 and All Wings combo. And here we go, another Lord Maul with Lightsaber coming down. And Zuckuss and Miss Hunter joins the fun as well. Tom saying, oh, I'm dumb. Yeah, I know. Tom does need to have an answer in space, but he doesn't really have much. Yeah. I think he just plays guys in ships like this. And Tom will now draw some cards from his force pile. I don't know. I would rather see like Zuckuss and Boba Fett go over to Jakku because it's only a drain of 1 at Korlag. I mean, versus a drain of 2 over at Jakku. But now he's got, like I said, he's got 3 drains of at least 2 on Jakku. Yeah, the SFS cannons are can be scary. Rope a dope. I don't know. But we'll stay with this game as this one continues. MHT is going to be able to drain if he wants to. There is a do or do not shield from him. Set for stun is a card. Oh, it's the same acronym. Yeah, set for stun would be really. I think he plays set for stun in the deck. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, if he could set for stun, like, say, Wedge, that would be very bad. Okay, MHT is going to pay 3 to drain for 2. He is going to play I think I can handle myself, so that's going to add 1 to the drain. As Rose is up there on the Carillion Corvette. Uh, Tom does still have one more grabber to use, so let's see if he decides to grab that card. He's already grabbed he already grabbed It's a Hit and Inconsequential Barriers. Interesting. That's an interesting grab. Okay, so Rentable Papa. Don't recognize your name, sir. Could you tell me who you are? You're saying that he has at least 2 control set for stuns in the deck. That makes sense. Oh, okay. Hey, Dennis. I didn't recognize you for a second. Oh, he lost an S. Okay, so he did lose a set for stun. Okay, there goes Vader, Maul, and a force field, all from his hand. Interesting. That's fair. And let's do that. Let's make our last token of the night control and set for stun. So if you're participating in the sticker giveaway, our last token of the night is going to be control and set for stun. Okay, so we are in MHT's turn. He is going to put back Beaumont Kin and grab Chewie with Bowcaster. I'm surprised all you got East Coast guys are still awake at 11 o'clock at night. MHT deciding on what he wants to do here. Okay, he does have a chewing in his hand, so he is taking his time. As he's still in his deploy phase. I don't really think so. Like, nobody's lost to Tom at this point. This is game 3 with his dark side. He's currently 2-0 with it. So I just think he just has played some really good stuff. Yeah, I think you're right, Justin. You have to if he has the control and set for stun, it's a pretty bad situation. If he doesn't, Matt is in a really good spot. Yeah. And like it's I will say this, like living on the West Coast when Tom is available, and you see like an open game or an OCS game, and it's like 10 o'clock at night on the West Coast, you got to know it's Tom. And when he just drops down this deck on you, it's not a fun time. But again, Matt is taking his time. He is eating a little bit of clock up right now. That's another good point. He could have a dark time here. Like, he does have a lot of options here to deal with that Rogue One. Now, I think the Rogue One is immune to attrition less than 6. But the big thing is, I mean, if Tom draws a 9, it don't matter. Like, even if he has like a close call, I think he plays close call in this deck. He can cancel and cause a redraw after MHT cancels. So there's a lot Tom can do here up in space. But first things first, Matt is going to deploy the blue 11 in front of the Emperor. And he's got Poe Dameron down there now. That would give MHT 2 Destiny. So let's see if we're going to see a fight against the Emperor. Leia hitting the table. Leia, Rebel Princess. I believe she works up there in space. Twice per game, may place the top card of Lost Pile on your top of your reserve deck to cancel Force Drain at a related site. So, yes, you can use Leia while she's on a starship. So, but here we go. Our battle at Korlag. Rogue One with Corran Horn and Wedge Antilles versus Boba Fett in Slave 1 and Zuckist in Miss Hunter. Tom has 4 cards saved. No answers. So MHT is going to get away with this. He draws a 5 for Battle Destiny. Is going to get rid of one of those 2 ships, and Tom has already played No Escape. Yep. Tom will not draw Destiny. It doesn't really matter. I guess he knows what the top card is, so that makes kind of sense there. Because if MHT was going to go into a battle against the Emperor, you might not want to do that. Okay, Rey slides on out. And there's a Force Lightning targeting Rey. Yeah. And, yep, there's a 9 right on top. So, goodbye, Rey. It was nice knowing you. So, yeah, Tom was pretty much ready for anything there. That's why he didn't draw. Yeah. I was thinking, like, if he had the control set for stun, you play it on Poe, bounce Poe back to his hand, and then beat down that lone blue 11. But now that he fried, yeah, I mean, she evacuated the ground completely. As the blue 11 shuttled up to the Corellian Corvette. I just forget that the Corellian Corvette can hold a vehicle. I don't know if he can stack the Slave 1 at this point. Like, a lot of his good stuff is already on the table. But yeah, he is threatening a lot of damage this turn, and It's a Hit is currently grabbed. So here we go. Drain of 2 at the Starship Graveyard. Again, Leia is on the table, so if Tom can just eat up some of the damage from Leia, or if MHT can eat up some of the damage with Leia, that wouldn't be too bad for him. Okay, he loses Jyn Erso to the first drain. Leia is going to cancel the second drain at the outpost. Putting back Jyn Erso on top of the deck. And there's the second, and there's the drain at the village, and Leia will cancel this second drain. So Leia already done with that. No, you can't reduce it. Yeah, yeah. And there's another Zuckuss and Mist Hunter. So you can't reduce the drain down to 1 on Jakku. The objective doesn't allow that anymore. Okay, there's first strike for Tom. Let's see if he's got something. He's got a 3-card. He's got a 13-card force pile and 2 cards left in his deck. So you gotta think he's got something here. Tom does initiate. He is going to pay 1 to retrieve 1. He's going to retrieve that Force Lightning that he just used against Rey last turn. Okay, MHT will lose Rebel Leadership from his hand. And here it is, a control set for stun on Corran Horn. Draws a 9, so Corran Horn will go back to Matt's hand. And without the Corran Horn, Wedge will not be able to draw Destiny, or the Destiny will be reduced down to, or set back down to 0. Yep. And Tom draws a big 9. Wow. 16-3 in favor of Tom. Now, Matt does draw a 5, but again, it is going to be a 0 because of Zuckuss and Mist Hunter. So, Matt is going to be down by 13. And I believe the Starship and Wedge cover enough for that. Actually, no, they don't. He still has... Yep, he's going to take 2 in Overflow. That is a rough sequence of events from Tom. But, yeah, I think you're right, Justin. It's over. Like Tom is about to do, 7 next turn, or 8 next turn? Unless Matt can do something. Matt only has a 5-card hand. He could come down with, like, the Falcon, but that's only going to take care of one of the drains. But, you know, if Tom draws multiple 9, like, if he draws a 9 with Maul, it's going to become a 10. That could clear the Falcon very easily. Even the Emperor and Dooku, I mean... It's not looking good. Maybe we'd see Matt move the... I mean, it would take him 2 turns to do it, but if you move like the Falcon or... you can't really go to... Yeah, he's in a little bit of a sticky situation here. Okay, there's a drain of 2 at Jakku. Tom will lose 4-Lom with Concussion Rifle V, as well as a Maul's Strike from his hand. So both of those cards are from his hand. It's not like Tom is in a cave. Yeah, Tom plays a lot. Like, I think the biggest thing is, like, he'll go and get up to the OCS, and he doesn't play, or he plays in round 1 and just drops, like something comes up. But I'm glad to see that he is sticking this tournament out, and he is playing really well. But if we do have a matchup between... But looks like it is going to be a Tom versus Mike Kessling finals for the 20th anniversary game. Still in MHT's deploy phase. He did check out his deck. He's got 5 cards there. There is a Dash and Rogue 12 in front of Dooku. Again, MHT is on the 0 side of his objective, though. Really quick, going to check in on the Kyle Kruger deck. I am watching it right now on my top screen. Looks like it is Kyle's doing rather well. He's got space occupied and ground occupied as well. Unfortunately for him, though, he is on the 0 side of his objective. And he still does not have Imperial Decree on the table. Fleet Admiral Akbar hops onto Dash and Rogue 12. Let's see. Mike Pistone. Okay, it looks like Mike Pistone has ended his game. That game is over. How is Joe Olsen game? So if you want to watch Joe Olsen game, he is currently being streamed, I believe, on Jared Napolitano's channel. However, if you really want to, let me just double check that one really quick. No Idea versus Agents of Black Sun. Still a fairly close game. It is currently 23 in Life Force for Dave, and Joe has 24. Joe has no starships on the table, but he is doing some damage. He is on the 7 side of his objectives, so there is that. Okay, so Matt moved a little too fast for himself, and Tom allowed for the revert, so MHT is still taking his time and trying to do some stuff during his move phase. Let's see. What's another good high table? Steven Squirlock versus Matt Caruli. Matt is playing a Obi-Wan Kenobi community deck versus Watto. Matt actually had a nice little beatdown earlier today with that deck. Looks like I want to say that James Martin is currently streaming that game. Yeah. So I'm going to get out of that one as well. But we might see another blowout here by Matt Caruli. So if you want to see a insane game there, go ahead and check that one out. Rose is off of Blue 11, while Poe looks like, let's see, we got Fleet Admiral Akbar and Land Rebel Princess all on Blue 11. Poe is on there as well, so that's going to block one of the drains. And then some other games going on. Matt Thornton versus Al. Bring Him Before Me versus Throne Room. Looks pretty good right now for Al. I'll go ahead and show you that one really quick so you can see it. Bring Him Before Me. He does occupy the Chasm Walkway, but unfortunately the Emperor's not on the table, and he is still losing a lot of force. So, doesn't look like Matt is going to be doing well with that game. Oh. I was going to say, that's not Timo, and yeah, looks like a lot of these games are going to be ending very soon, just so everybody knows. Yeah, we'll keep you updated on some of the other games that are currently going on. Joe and David Woods, this game. And what was the other one? Chris versus Brett. Looks like that game has ended, so let's see what happened in that game. And that's why James is not watching the David Wood or the Chris Hall versus Brett game. That game has ended. Chris Hall is victorious, so Chris ended up going, I believe, 5-1. So good showing by Joker King. So Chris was in the 6th spot. So okay, so now we go into Tom's turn. He does drain, and there is a P59 hopping down as well. This could be very rough for MHT. Okay, he is going to initiate here. He will retrieve 1, and MHT will lose 1. Again, MHT is going to be able to get 2 Destiny here with Poe Dameron. He loses Anakin Skywalker from his hand, and MHT is going to play Keep Your Eyes Open. So that will cancel any weapons this turn. So Keep Your Eyes Open goes to the lost pile. So, but again, if he's drawing 9s, we shall see. Yep, draws Battle Destiny of 9, bringing his total up to 18. It did reduce it by... Oh, no, he can't reduce it as he is not flipped. So Matt will draw a 4 for the first Destiny and a 1 for the second Destiny. So, Tom will lose Count Dooku. MHT will have to lose Leia, Rebel Princess, and another character here. No, this is the last round. So, again, if Tom wins this, he is guaranteed a spot in the finals versus Mike Kessling. Outside of that, if he loses, he would go down to 6-1, joining MHT and Chris Hall, and the winner of Joe Olson versus David Woods. And that game is still going on, and I'm not going to pull it up, but we do have a few other games still going on. Steven Squirlock versus Matt Crewley, Matt Thornton versus Al, AJ versus John, Chad versus Justin, and then let's see if I and that's pretty much it. So again, once this round is over, that's it, everybody. They have not decided the finals. Unfortunately, Mike Kessling has family in town, and then he has to go to Vegas. So we shall, as soon as we know when the finals are going to be, we'll let you guys know. I will. It is kind of late over there on the East Coast, so Mike is probably either asleep or dealing with family. Yeah, this has been a very long day. Okay, here we go into MHT's turn. Currently, he's got 13 life force. Tom has 13 as well. Big difference is Tom has a hand size of 14. He did move some characters over to reinforce, so he's got P59 with Maul. The Emperor's over there as well, but MHT is draining for 2. There goes a Gick and another Forlom from hand. Rose will retrieve 1 for MHT. Okay, let's see what's still going on. Al and Matt Thornton are still fighting. Matt and Steven are still fighting. AJ and Chad still going. Or no, is Pickard Chad or... No, Chad versus Justin Carulli and John versus AJ. MHT checking out his destinies at this point with his combined fleet action. Uh, Hera coming down in front of the Emperor. That will flip MHT back. MHT goes over to his 7 side of the objective now. Korlak. And Matt will initiate a fight. Tom will have to lose 1. MHT will will retrieve a card after he deploys Admiral Sator during his deploy phase, and he's going to play Keep Your Eyes Open again. Draws Destiny. He draws a 3 for Battle Destiny. Again, Matt is getting 3 Destiny here. Draws a 3, a 5, and a 3. So that's going to clear out some guys there. And he draws a 10 for Battle Destiny. However, Matt is flipped, so he is going to reduce it down to an 8. It's only an 8. No, it's a drain -1 system, I think. And it has enough parsec to gift to Coruscant if you really need to. So, after all that is said and done, Poe is still down there on the blue 11. Dash and Rogue 12 still down there as well. Tom had to lose P59 and Lord Maul after that battle. Harris slides on over, boarding up into the Rogue 12. And that will end MHT's turn. Tom activates everything but saves 1 in his reserve deck. Here we go. Drain of 1 at Korlag. Drain of 2 at the village. Again, MHT has a 2-card hand, and he is losing from his reserve deck. So he peels. It's a hit, and I'm getting pretty good at this. So his life force count is down to 12 and hand in life. Tom, on the other hand, is sitting at 24. And there is a 9th sister. She alone will actually make it so MHT cannot draw Destiny, or he'll be able to draw Destiny, but it will be 0. Like, this is just stupid. And he's going to draw a 9. He's going to draw an 8. Or no, it's going to be a 7, but still. So Tom retrieves P59, and MHT will lose Padme off the top of his deck. And Tom draws another 7. It does become a 9. However, it is reduced down to a 7. So that would make his power a 12. So he is going to lose 3 cards here. But more importantly, it's slowly whittling MHT down at this point. It's a 1. And all this Destiny is going to be 0. 3. And 4. MHT's total battle destiny is 0. Tom will have to lose 3 cards. He will lose the Intimidator and Persecutor. And now MHT will have to peel some cards from the site. There goes Hera, as well as Dash and Rogue 12. Tom has lost the Maul Strike from his force pile, and an R. Singh's blaster rifle from the force pile as well. Looks like we're down to our last 4 games currently. We have this game going on. Joe Olson versus David Woods still going on. Justin Curley versus... I don't think he did. I don't think anybody played Grimtosh on him. Justin Curley is facing on Chad Dixon. This game, and then Matt Curley versus Steven Squirlock. That game is currently being streamed over on James Martin's channel. Jared is still streaming the Joe Olson match, and then the nobody's worrying about the Justin Curley match. Even though he's playing Mind What You Have Learned. Actually, just as a real quick look at it, he's playing Mind What You Have Learned pod racing. I guess he got the idea from Bastion, so that's what he said. And he is playing against a Revenge of the Sith deck, so kind of interesting. Yep, he goes into. He is about to win the pod race here. On our feature table, MHT does drain for 2 up in space. Tom loses Fondor and Erica. So, yeah, once Justin retrieves all of that force, he's also going to get all those cards stacked on his his pod racer back. So, and I know he's probably got the I Did It in his hand, but that is not going to come into play. Let's go back to our feature table and watch this game as it finishes up. In MHT's deploy phase, he's got the Tom has the Ninth Sister and the Emperor on the table. Matt only has 2 cards in his hand and 9 cards in Life Force. So, and if you want to see something else interesting, Matt Curley is playing an Obi-Wan communing with rocks. And there was a point earlier in the day where he beat down on a Watto for 63 in overflow. And, of course, the guy didn't have the Gick. So, Chewie comes down onto blue 11. Still, again, unfortunately, that's not really going to do much. What's a rock? R-O-C-K. You know? Just kick the crap out of him. If you're interested in seeing it, I'd hit up Matt Curley. MHC slides blue 11 over in front of the Emperor. And he'll draw some cards. Again, he is going to be taking 3 drains of 1 and 2 this turn for 3 damage. So he'll be down to 7 cards hand in life, whereas Tom is currently sitting at 19 hand in life. And we have a GG. Matt Harrison Trainer concedes over to Tom. Tom is undefeated and our Group B champion. So congrats to Tom on a very well played tournament. Yeah, what else can I say about the fact that we have our finals, Mike Kessling versus Tom Struther. While this game is over, let's go back and check out some of the games that are still going on. Again, David Woods versus Joe Olson still going on. Quick draw, or Matt Curley versus Steven Squirlock still going on, and then Obi-Wan communing versus Watto. But let's go ahead and check out that Mind What You Have Learned racing deck versus Revenge of the Sith Dooku. Okay, we're in the deploy, and we're in Chad's deploy phase. So we're in his deploy phase right now. Let's see what he's going to do this turn. Justin only has a 5-card hand at this point, as a lot of his stuff is currently stacked on Anakin's Pod Racer. Drops Guri in front of Poe, Luke, and Qui-Gon. So Guri coming down in front of Luke, Master Qui-Gon with lightsaber, and Poe Dameron. Again, there's no vehicles there, so Poe doesn't add anything. And we have a fight at the farm. Dooku, Dr. Evazan, and Guri fighting against Luke, Poe, and Master Qui-Gon. Dooku is going to attempt to shoot Luke, or swing at his saber at Luke. And that will hit Luke Skywalker. Once the decks are posted, we can all check them out. So Luke is hit, forfeit 0. Again, Luke can swing his saber at whoever he wants, if he sticks around, as the good doctor is about to operate on Luke and remove him from the battle. Luke goes to the lost pile. As an update, looks like Joe Olsen is going to be able to eke out a victory with his Agents of Black Sun. Again, he doesn't have any ships on the table, but he does have almost every battleground location occupied with one of his characters. And it is going into his turn. So we'll see how this one ends up. And then we'll see what ends up with the other last game, which is the Matt Crowley versus Steven Squirlock game. So Master Qui-Gon attempted to so Justin went to go swing at Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba. However, Chad used Force Field V to use 2 Force to cancel an attempt to use a permanent weapon targeting your character. So Dr. Evazan is going to stick around. And yeah. Looks like Poe and a card are going to go to the lost pile for Justin. And Guri's going to go for Chad. Okay, yep, Poe Dameron does go to the lost pile. Justin still owes 1 card left. And then he is going to be able to retrieve with the race. Okay, so Sebulba's Pod Racer is not, so you've never run a race, it's still going to cause 6 points of damage. Okay, he's going to grab Imbalance Combo to get a character. Still has to pay for that, though. So he's going to retrieve Guri back into his hand. Interesting. And again, like I just said, Justin still owes 1 card into the battle, and he loses a Rebel Leadership from his reserve deck. And that's it. The race has ended. Justin Carulli is your victor with the race. So he is going to get all those cards back that are stacked on Anakin's Pod Racer. He is also then going to get, but first he's going to retrieve 6 and cause 6 points of damage. So it looks like he's going to lose from his hand. As he loses a Dark Jedi lightsaber, we must accelerate our plans. Darth Tyrannus. Balance combo. And Asajj Ventress with lightsabers and a Force Lightning. So both players now have 12 cards in their loss pile. Thanks to that race. But again, like I just said, Justin is going to get all those cards that are stacked on that Anakin's Pod Racer back into his deck. So he goes from having a small deck to a fairly nice sized deck. And it looks like this is the last game that is currently going on, as the Matt Carulli versus Steven Squarelock game just ended as well. Once again, we're still waiting on the David Woods versus the Joe Olsen game to end. It looks like Joe is going to be victorious in this one, as I just pointed out. Currently, we're in Joe's battle phase. He had the Emperor fight Torn Far and Saw Gerrera. Saw Gerrera goes to the loss pile. And again, Joe pretty much has all of Coruscant in check. He's also got Scarif in check, and he's got Afra at the Yavin 4 War Room. So he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, but unfortunately he has to pay for that damage. David has 7 cards in his life force, whereas Joe has 16. So Joe is going to be able to pay for his damage, while David is going to have to... Well, both characters are both... Well, no. David has Torn Far at Coruscant occupying for battle plan. So he doesn't have to pay for the damage, but he's not doing as much damage as Joe. Okay, it is the start of Justin Carulli's turn. This is after Chad moves over Erica, Admiral Trench, and BB-9E on the Invisible Hand. So Carulli activates. Goes to steal a lightsaber with General Grievous, but unfortunately there is none there. And there is the I did it. So it is going to be suspended, as Chad currently occupies more battlegrounds than Justin does. And there is Baze Malbus. So in actuality, Justin just got his I did it back, as they both currently occupy in not the same battlegrounds. So if you occupy a battleground site in a battleground system once during each of your control phases, you may retrieve the bottom card of your lost pile and place it on top of your force pile. Once per game, may place the Bounty Pod Racer out of play to retrieve 4. At the end of an opponent's turn, opponent must either lose 2 or place their force pile in their use pile. So again, you can place that Bounty Pod Racer at any time to retrieve 4. Wouldn't be surprised to see Justin do that very soon. But again, I could be wrong, being that Chad has 8 cards. And yep, there it is. The I did it is now suspended again. So I would have retrieved before moving. Looking at this Joe Olsen game really quick again. So now Joe is in his turn. This is after Torn Far vacates the premises of Coruscant. Joe has just done 2 damage with his objective, and now he is draining. Drains for 2 at the War Room. Again, he's going to be able to drain for 1 at the beach. 1. He's going to drain for 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more, and then do 1 point of damage with the Shadows of the Empire. So it looks like that game is going to be over, and Joe Olsen is going to be victorious. Joe is going to come in. Looks like Joe's going to come in second to Tom, and Chris Hall is going to be in third at this point, as Tom is currently undefeated. Joe is 5-1, and Chris Hall is 5-1 as well. So, yep. And unfortunately, David has just 1 card left. He doesn't occupy for battle plan, so he really can't do much on his next turn. So I believe he's just going to draw up at this point. And here we go, waiting for Justin Carulli to end his game. And Joe Olsen, again, has just won his final game. So, again, we are on the very last game of the night. As Chad is draining. This one actually looks like it's going to go to time here. As just checking at the time, Justin Carulli is sitting at 11 minutes and almost 45 seconds. However, Chad is sitting at 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So if Justin can keep this one going, he should be fine to win this match. No, it's going to be the other deck that goes to time. So, again, we are still in Chad's control phase. He is still draining. Draining for at the hallway for 2. He already drained at Naboo for 2, and he drained at the farm for 2 as well. So. And he will pass turn over to Justin. So Chad is actually moving really quick right now, knowing that his time, he doesn't have a lot of time. He, like I said, he is still out damaging Justin at this point, but again, time is getting to be an issue right now. Looks like Jared has ended his stream, and James has also ended his stream. So, and looks like I'm the last one left. So as soon as this game ends, we'll be signing off for the evening. And yeah, after 17, not even, no, more than 17 hours. Okay, drain 1 at Tatooine. And drain of 1 at the Pod Race Arena. And Justin's going to retrieve 1 with Celebration. And again, he does have to pay for it, though. see, so we started this at essentially 4 in the morning on the West Coast. That would be 8 hours plus the 8 hours that we've just done. So actually no, yeah, so 17 hours of Star Wars CCG action. This has been quite a long day. Din Djarin hops down onto the battlefield, allowing I Did It to come back into play. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Justin retrieve 4 Force right here, and then either move Din Djarin away or move everybody in over there. So, yep, there he goes. Going to pay to retrieve 4 Force, placing Bonta Eve Pod Race out of play. Again, the finals are set, I believe. It's going to be Mike Kessling versus Tom Struthers. We don't know when the finals are going to occur. So once we do know, we'll let you guys know. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the forums, Slack, Facebook, everything. And it looks like Chad is going to concede to Justin Carulli, so Justin will win. So that is all she wrote for the day. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on this 19-hour-long journey. Too bad we couldn't get one more hour. Getting into hour 20, that would be great. But it has been a fun day. Again, on Wednesday, we're going to have Holo Theater. I don't have anything planned just yet. So if you want to see something in particular, let me know. I'll get you. We'll try and get some good people on Holo Theater this week. Maybe we'll get Tom on to talk about his crazy little deck. We'll see. But until Wednesday, everybody have a good rest of your weekend. And again, I'll see everybody on Wednesday. Make sure you get your OCS games. If you haven't signed up for the May OCS, get signed up as it starts here very, very, very soon. Get your retro event games in, everybody. Again, that you have 1 month left on those. And next big event is going to be Nationals in July. Looking to go into Minnesota for that event. So hope to see a lot of you guys there. If you haven't been to Minnesota, it's a great city for an event. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But until then, everybody take care, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good one.